Welcome to the Handyman Pros Radio Show. Home improvement and maintenance tips from the pros.
Welcome to the Handyman Pros Radio Show Action Edition, where today we feature an item in the news. And I'm here with my old buddy Larry. Larry, what's been going on this week?
John, have you been in a big box store in a while?
I have.
Can you tell me what's going on? Like, the shelves, they appeareth to be emptieth.
They are crazy empty.
Yeah, like I went to buy wire, just 14-2 wire. I had a little job. I wanted to buy 100 feet, and I ended up buying 1,000 feet because that's all they had was a big roll.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think we discussed on this on the program before about how the lumber was going up, and it's still up, and I thought that it might be coming back down at this point. I think we all did, but it's not. The supply chain is still disrupted.
Yeah, it really is. And now we're seeing, I've seen huge shortages in the electrical aisles. You can't even get electrical boxes. I mean,
I know.
New construction nail up boxes, you can't even get those, barely anyway.
I completely agree. Matter of fact, I was at one of the big box places yesterday. I walked on the electrical aisle, and there was none of those boxes. And and it was all. I didn't really pay attention to if they had the metal ones, but I know all the plastic ones are gone. And plastic did take a major hit. It had the perfect storm. A lot of the plastic resin pellets and things like that are manufactured in Houston, and that was a big disruption during that ice that they had down there. Ice storm, as well as there was a big fire in one of the main plastic factories in Mexico. So plastic hit just a perfect storm, and that was a big problem. Then they had that ship, in the Suez Canal.
Suez, yeah, crossed
that
up.
blocked everything.
Yep.
So, and then you've got COVID on top of it, and then on top of that, you've got the price of petroleum that's is going up,
climbing. Yep.
And I don't know if anything that's not affected by petroleum prices. Do you?
No, there's nothing that's not affected by petroleum prices. Nothing.
So everything was, and as we discussed, before the show, that all of this is adding, 24,000 or more to the average new home.
Yeah.
And it's crazy though. If anybody out there, if you walk into those big box stores, you'll just be amazed how most of this stuff is not even there, and if you can get it, the price is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, John, I heard, and this is from a reliable source. This is from a drywall supplier here in Atlanta that actually is a part of a nationwide group with like 700 stores, something nationwide. They are not going to be able to get drywall mud. Like they told me that the particular store that I went to said they got their last truck. They got the last truck they'll see till I think they said June. And
wow.
And folks, this is being recorded in mid-April. So yeah, from mid-April to June, like they're like, if you need it, you better buy it. And they weren't trying to just sell me a bunch of mud, but I bought it. And I've actually noticed in the big box stores that they're running out of drywall mud. I'm like, drywall mud? When in the world? John, do you ever remember a time when you couldn't get 14-2 electric wire or drywall mud or electrical boxes? I noticed one of the big box stores in the electrical boxes was going to back to fiberglass ones, because somebody obviously can make fiberglass. They're more expensive. That's the poor part of it, I guess. But at least they're trying, But yeah, it's crazy. So, John, what's the takeaway here? What's our action tip? What's our situation
I guess
here?
Let's prioritize a couple of things. If folks are out there looking to do some projects, it's best to see if you can postpone some of those projects that require some of these materials in short supply, because you're going to be, doubling the cost of that project. Let's take, for example, building a fence or a deck. I mean, the deck boards and I mean, I was walking by the lumber. It was just incredible how much that has gone up.
So give us a time reference here too. When you say that, what are we talking about? We're talking about like a year, right?
Sources that you and I pay attention to, and things like that are talking about this. It's we were hoping that we're going to be out of this, come this year, and it might not even happen this year. Until the supply chain gets, put back together, and that's the way the supply chain has been designed. It's happening in the semiconductor business with chips and things like that. Everybody's working on, zero inventory, basically just in time and all that kind of thing. And they're just moving it. They're just trying to move it from one, plant to production to, and everything has been so tight. So one little disruption really makes a ripple effect. And, you call it we used to call it in the business a bullwhip effect at the end. A little ripple in the front makes a big snap at the end. So you're gonna, we're all experiencing that right now. So like you asked me, that our sources, it's probably another, could be another year.
Yeah. So the tip is, if you're going to contemplate a big project right now, be very, very, I'm going to say, be fastidious with your numbers and be very conservative and add in a fudge factor. Because I have to say, I used the example earlier of buying the electric wire. I mean, I bought 1,000 feet of wire because I was afraid I've got some projects coming up and I'm afraid I won't be able to get it. Even just get it. So I bought a bunch, I didn't have a choice, but I still bought a bunch anyway because I anticipate the need. And it's 14-2 wire. I mean, we know we'll use it eventually. It's not like, I'll have it forever, but it's still, we just, folks, that's the tip as far as I see it. If you're contemplating a big project, maybe you need to rethink it, push it off a little bit.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would recommend, and that's exactly what our sources and things are telling us too. There's certain things right now, if you're going to do, there's plenty of it. Paint.
So yep. Lots
if
of
you want to do stuff like that, you want to do painting and things, now's the time to do it. But other bigger heavy duty projects, just just a 2x4s are incredibly expensive. So it's a real shame, trying to build out a basement, things like that. Holy mackerel, you're gonna spend a lot more money doing that right now than, say a year and a half ago, or maybe hopefully it'll come back down in next year.
Yeah, we hope so. All right, folks. Well, don't forget to join our Facebook group. That's at Handyman Pros. And join the conversation. You can send us an email, questions@handymanprosradioshow.com. You actually can leave us a voicemail on our homepage. That's handymanprosradioshow.com. Follow us on Twitter at Handyman Radio. And we also, John, don't we take smoke signals? I take smoke signals. So if you give me, 3 puffs mean you're in, 2 puffs means you're out. So it's all good. Folks, we want to thank you for listening to the Handyman Pros Radio Show, and we will see you next week.